She woke up to say she couldn't move. When I'm telling her, don't talk daft, you've been to toilet once. So eventually we had to come round. When I woke up to realise she couldn't move.
I was lying on a sunbed and I became dizzy. And the old wives' tale is head between legs, and that didn't go away.
I couldn't move my arms, and what I was thinking at the time was, how am I going to drive home? I didn't think, I was having a stroke.
In the UK, around 152,000 people a year will suffer from a stroke. That's 1 in 6. Strokes do not discriminate and can affect men and women of any age, from babies in the womb to older people who the illness is most associated with.
At work, so it happened at 4 p.m. and somebody only noticed at 5:15.
When I actually told the neurologist in Thailand what age I was, did I smoke? No. My age, 53 at the time. She just shook her head. I think it was just like an earthquake as she described it, whereas I had A, high cholesterol, and B, we just lost the wife's dad. We just lost the cat, just moved house, just moved job. So I think one on top of each other just gave away.
It was a dissection, which doesn't happen to a lot of people. So I had a cold beforehand, and the stroke consultant said I must have coughed and an artery burst, because people think it only happens to the older people. So when you tell people what's happened, they're all shocked.
Strokes can affect everyone differently and have different effects on people's lives.
I couldn't speak for 2 months, and then it was my right hand side, so I can move with my arm, but I can't feel anything. So hot and cold, and couldn't tell the difference, or I couldn't pick up a knife or a fork at the beginning.
Crying all the time, weren't I?
Well, you're more now that she's very, 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 very touchy. Even if things are going right, if somebody's happy or somebody's glad, or when little one turns up and she puts her arms up, wants a big hug and a big kiss, and she starts off.
It was frustrating when I was learning to talk again. It was in my in my head, but I couldn't say it. Or I'd say I wanted a fork, but I'd say knife. So it's getting things mixed up. So that was frustrating.
You don't get angry. You just think, oh, what can I do? Make the most of what you've got.
I've got that back in some form. I can communicate, I can hold a conversation, but my thought process now is a bit slower than it was prior to me having it. It's a lot slower, dexterity in this hand, but I've got most of the things back, like walking, balance, that sort of thing I've got back.
There are different types of strokes, and they can be caused by a number of different reasons.
A stroke, it could be a couple of different ones. It could be a bleed, and it also could be what they call an ischemic stroke, which is a blockage. Strokes, different reasons for strokes happening. One can be it running in the family. Another could be other medical conditions like diabetes, heart conditions, what they call AF, arterial fibrillation, irregular heartbeat, and then we're looking at lifestyle. So it could be people that are obese, not taking exercise, drug and alcohol and smoking. Tends to be the main ones that will cause stroke. They're all sort of preventative things that we look at. So a third will pass away, a third will be left with considerable disability, and a third will make a reasonable recovery.
The recovery process is different for everyone and is specially tailored to the individual. Recovery can involve a number of treatments such as physiotherapy and occupational health.
Initially, I was walking behind a wheelchair. That was to keep my balance and therefore to get me legs moving again.
Once I got out of hospital, it was 2 weeks. Somebody was with me every day. So it was, I did like walking exercises, going up the stairs, like trying to get my balance sorted.
You have all these plans of what you're going to do when you retire, and this is where you are. But then eventually we pulled through, and we spent a month, didn't we, with all the help they could give us.
A major step in the recovery process is getting back out into society. A key step in this is attending a stroke group. There are over 500 in the UK providing help for around 16,000 people. Another key purpose of these groups are to help reduce isolation and to keep stroke sufferers active to help prevent further strokes.
And the stroke group now is brilliant because we see different people from different walks of life who've had different sorts of strokes, affected them in different ways, who still try to do what they can.
Yeah, I would certainly get to the group, a group, wherever you are, and talk about it, and I think that helps the recovery. Since then I've become a volunteer, so I'm going through the process of that. I think it's time for me to put back what I've been through. There's far worse than me there. I'm one of the fortunate ones that have got off lightly, if that's the right word. So yeah, it's about putting back in the, what can I do to help out.
The recovery process is long and each individual must find his or her own way of getting through the journey. Although strokes leave its sufferers with a disability, if only slight, you can make huge progress in only a short amount of time.
What's happened, you can't look back, you can't turn the clock back. So it's how you prevent it from happening again. And I've took precautions in going to the gym. It's long you can be, your dexterity can come back within 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's a long, slow process, and that's, you're in for the long haul, and that's what I'm fixed in my mind for, in for the long haul. It hasn't been a year yet.
But it doesn't stop me doing them. Don't make me miserable, because he takes me wherever I want to go. Always think positive. Always. Don't think of worse things. Think to better yourself. It depends how you are. If you've got the main thing is confidence.
Yeah, it happens to anybody, but I know it's hard to say this, but not to be depressed about it. You can get over it. You just got to put in the hard work, and then it can get better.